afternoon.
Oh, yes, good afternoon.
No,
Sorry.
it's okay.
I've been ripping and running. I should have said that.
No, it's okay. All right, what is plaintiff? Where are we on this case?
So it looks like we were previously scheduled on the 16th. It's my understanding that Ms. Holcomb had applied for time or requested time to apply for assistance. I've not had a chance to speak with her, nor has the property as to where she is at this time. So we're here seeking a judgment today.
You had an appointment with Hawk on the 26th.
Yes, and I have another, my follow-up appointment is scheduled for February 10th at 12 p.m.
It's scheduled for February 10th.
At 10 p.m. Sorry, at 12 p.m. 12 p.m.
Did they make an indication or give an indication that they would be able to?
Yes, I turned in the last requirement, which was I had to show proof of a job, and I did get a job. I started Wednesday.
Okay. So let me ask this. What's your monthly rent?
My monthly rent is $206.
206?
Yes.
So
I got sick and my car was down. So I fell behind and I'm a single mom.
it's all right.
Thank you.
That happens.
Thank
you. The reason I was asking that is if I journal it out, you don't go over 3,000, which would be the cap for Hawk.
Exactly.
Okay, so she'd still be under that cap. So, counsel, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give her a shot. She's got the follow-up appointment on the 10th. They're gonna let her know, and they may be able to clear everything on her account.
Okay, would we be able to request an escrow for February's rent?
I can do that.
Well, yeah, she could pay that into escrow. No, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that she will be at about, she's at about 26 now. She'll be at about 28 or so with her February rent. Hawk's cap is 3,000. So if they're gonna help her, they're gonna pay the whole amount in any event. So here's what I'll do. I'll escrow, the issue of escrow is reserved. So I'm not gonna order that you pay it now, but I may order it if something else happens. I'll adjourn this matter out to February 13th. I don't have next week, so I can't do that. February 13th, 2026 at 3 p.m. for an in-person hearing.
Does it have to
You
be-
got your second, it's at 3 p.m.
Okay.
You got your second appointment with Hawk on the 10th. So at that point, we ought to potentially know something.
Is there any way we can do this by Zoom for work reasons because it's a brand new job or no?
You want to appear via Zoom?
If I'm able.
You don't want to come down and see me?
I
But
just
you
want
said
to.
I'm sick of you, Jen Simpson. I don't want to be in your presence. Is that what you're telling me? Fill out the form. We'll consider it.
Okay, thank you.
We understand.
We have
All
no
right,
objection
take care.
either. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
Court does call the case of Huron Vista versus Sabrina Jackson.
Rebecca Arnold, P72714 for the.
All right, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, this is also a non-payment of rent case. Current rent to retain is $6,885.90. Cost of $170 for a total redemptive amount of $7,055.90.
Ma'am, how are you intending on getting that paid?
So I paid the $1,750, the last court date we had. And I was gonna pay a payment of $1,000 today. If they can give me more time, I would like it, but at this point, the late fees and the month to month that they promised to take off after I pay is more than the rent, so I didn't get it.
How much is the month to month?
They're charging me $350 for month to month and $150 twice a month every time I'm late, so $100.
$150 late fee?
Yes.
$300 late fee?
Yes, sir, $150 after the third and $150 after the eighth.
Whoa.
So if I was,
Just hold on.
okay,
I'm showing a late fee, Your Honor. There's a late fee of $75 on the 5th. Another late fee of $75 on the 10th.
So it's late fee is just 150 a month, or is it 300?
So if we could, if I wish I could have brought my ledger because they went $150 on me. It was at 1.75, but they did move it to $150.
So it looks like the total monthly late fee, Your Honor, is $150. There is a $300 month-to-month fee that was applied. That is correct. Each month, there's a $300 month-to-month holdover fee that's applied to the ledger.
May I speak?
Yes.
And that's because in September, I had a balance, even though my rent was paid. With the late fees, it's considered a balance, so I'm not allowed to sign my lease every time it's a bit of a balance. So this is why this is accumulating like this. I can pay this by March the 1st, but if it's gonna just accumulate, I'd rather cut my losses and move on.
You're sure that you got charged 150 for late fees?
I'm sure. It's just been so frustrating because not even only that, I had a zero balance back in November. And then they made a mistake and counted me for $1,000. So when I looked up again, I had a balance that I thought was clear. So then comes the late fees and no, you can't sign the lease. And it's just,
But did you not have a balance? at the
they made a
time?
mistake. No, I paid my rent, what I thought was all of it, what was on the thing. But they made a mistake after I came to court and said that I paid 4,000 when I only paid 3,000. And then
Studio microphone. Now hold on. This case just became way more complicated. If the tenant already paid a previous court judgment and then additional charges were added afterward, the judge is immediately hearing potential accounting issues. And trust me, judges hate messy ledgers. The second he says, "Oh, that's going to be a problem," you can tell the landlord's paperwork is about to come under serious scrutiny.
so by them putting that balance on after the court date, that like, it just started a snowball effect. So I can definitely pay it
Hold
by
on a
my-
second. You were here on a court case.
Correct, not this past
No,
past
I
2
got
weeks
you.
ago,
But
correct. This
the,
was maybe back in November when I was late, 1 month.
was there a judgment issued for a certain amount?
Yes, sir.
And you paid that amount?
Yes, sir.
And then they tack more on?
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna be a problem.
And then I have all my emails asking them about this, but it just, I can never talk with anyone. And another,
Well.
yeah, and
all
another
right,
reason
that's-
why I can't take it on the day that I say I'm gonna take it, they're not always in that office where I live at. They run 3 properties. So okay.
Studio microphone. Did you catch that line? Sometimes when you're ahead, it's better to be quiet. That's judge speak for counsel. Stop talking before you hurt your own case. The courtroom laughter makes it funny, but underneath the humor is a warning. The judge thinks the tenant may actually have a legitimate argument here.
Sometimes when you're ahead, it's better to be quiet.
Yeah.
All right. I'll adjourn this out to February 13th, 2026 at 3 p.m. Bring all of your, I want your ledgers, your payment, I want everything that I can, so I can take a look at it. Going back to that, you
November.
think that one case was, the judgment was November?
Oh, I know it was.
Hang on a second. Do we see a case? Was it filed in November or October? You don't know. That's okay. Do we see one? You do?
Yeah.
Does it show that there's there was a judgment on that? There was a judgment. There was a consent judgment entered.
Correct.
And what she's claiming is that they then added money after that.
Correct.
Pull that file, bring it in with it. We'll deal with this on the 13th. How's that?
Yes.
You have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Hello. What's your name?
I'm Joan Davies.
Where are we on this case?
This is a non-payment of rent case as well. Total rent to retain is $3,143.80, cost of $170 for a total redemptive amount of $3,318.80.
Okay. Um,
Go
my
ahead.
turn? Okay, thank you. Okay, so, I did get behind. There was a lot of reasons. I lost my job. I have some disabilities that I did not tell my employer about. And they affected me on the jobs. I missed work, so I lost it. That was back in December, November, actually. So I wasn't able to get caught back up. I have been in contact with Hawk. I had my interview with them yesterday.
Yesterday?
Uh-huh. And I did bring you all the paperwork.
Yes, I do. see
Okay,
it.
good. I've also been in touch with the Housing Bureau for Seniors, MDDHS, and then I'm also seeking assistance for seniors in Washington County. There is really quite a few resources that are out there. So I will be able, with Hawk's approval, I will be able to make up that difference because I know it's 3,000. And to keep this ever from happening again, I'm turning in my car to the bank, which will eliminate the high car insurance, right? My son and daughter-in-law are gonna help me get a car, and then I'm gonna go back to work. And that'll prevent this from ever happening again.
Okay.
So that's,
All right, so you're really looking for time to make sure we get answers on everything.
I don't have my second
I got
appointment
it.
with Hawk yet.
And this is the second hearing. She turned in the form. She's entitled to another hearing. I'll adjourn this up February 13th, 2026,
Okay, great. Thank you, Your Honor. Pardon me?
3 PM on the 13th.
On the 13th. Okay, great.
Okay, and hopefully we'll have an answer.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
some of this.
I,
Thank you, ma'am. Arbor Cove versus Stephen Saxon.
Rocco for the plan.
Hello, sir.
Afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. What is plaintiff's claim?
Your Honor, claiming rent to retain is $2,989.80. Cost of $170 for a total redemptive amount of $3,159.80.
All right, you're gonna contact Housing Bureau for Seniors.
Yep, I'm working with her. I got the paperwork for that. I don't know if you received it or not.
Okay,
Her name's Madden Litton, with the Seniors Bureau for U of M Health Department. And I filed for assistance from Friends and Indeed. So I'm waiting to hear back from that. She's also, Madden Litton is also gonna, and myself's gonna see if we can work a payment plan for some of the payment I owe to the council there.
okay. So did you go through Hawk at all?
I did, but if you make more than $12.50, you're not eligible. So my job, I get paid more. So that was a
Okay,
quick,
but
call.
you got, okay, gotcha. Okay. So, but you don't have answers from Friend Indeeds and
Yeah,
Housing Bureau.
I'm sorry. I turned in the paperwork last week. I'm just waiting to hear something from them.
Second hearing, I'll give you a shot to, let's see what happens.
I appreciate it.
February 13th, 2026, 3 PM.
Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a
You're
good weekend. Thank you.
Haverhill on Clark versus Khadijah Sissi.
And again, Your Honor, Timothy Procco for the plan.
She is not checked in. If you've been sworn, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Requesting entry of default judgment for possession only. Current rent to retain $3,049 even. Cost of $170 for a total redemptive amount of $3,219. Asking for the review after Monday, February 9, 2026. Partial payment will not prevent issuance of the writ.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession redemption amount in the amount requested with the writ issued in 10 days. Haverhill on Clark versus Sherelle Gamble.
Rocco for the plaintiff.
She did not check in. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. We would request entry of default judgment For possession only, current rent to retain is $9,911. Cost of $170 for a total redemptive amount of $10,081. Requesting a writ date of February 9th, 2023. It would not prevent issuance of the writ.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ issued in 10 days. Haverhill on Clark versus Cameron Griggs.
Timothy Proctor for the plaintiff.
Your name, sir?
Cameron Griggs.
How much is the claim?
Rent to retain is $11,871, cost of $170 for a total redemptive amount as of today of $12,041. Mr. Griggs and I have had the chance to discuss, he discussed with my client in advance of today as well, with the court's agreement. We have agreed to enter into a consent judgment for possession only for that amount, for the balance to be paid over several payments, Your Honor, if I may itemize those for you at this.
Yes.
Mr. Griggs has agreed to timely pay his accruing rent going forward. And he is going to additionally pay $1,500 on each of the following days: February 6th, February 20th, March 6th, March 20th, April 3rd, April 17th, May 1st, and then a final payment of $1,541 on May 15th. We've discussed waiving the 56-day rule with respect to the judgment. In the event that any payment is missed, we could pursue an order of eviction after Monday, February 9th, 2026, again, in the event any payment is missed.
Sir, is that a correct statement of what you've agreed to?
Yes, sir.
You think you can get that done?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you sign off on that? Do you have any questions regarding anything contained on that judgment?
No, sir.
All right.
Studio microphone, this final exchange is extremely important legally. The judge is carefully explaining the tenant's rights before approving a consent judgment. Why? Because once you agree to a payment plan in court, missing even one payment can fast-track eviction. So the judge is making sure nobody can later say, I didn't understand what I signed. It's procedural protection, and it matters more than most people realize.
Sir, because you're unrepresented by counsel and you're here and entering into a consent judgment, I do have to apprise you that you have 3 business days to think about this. If you believe that there's some confusion, some misunderstanding, some right you didn't assert regarding this claim by the plaintiff in this case, you have to file that motion within 3 business days. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't mean I'd grant it, but I'd at least take a look at it and try to address whatever issue you may have. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
For the benefit of the court, if I may, I did discuss the MCR 4.201J rights with Mr. Griggs, which is why I checked the box. I didn't want you to think that
Well,
without discussing.
No, you didn't check the box. That's why I said it.
Okay.
So,
I thought I did.
okay, all right. All right, you're all set, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Haverhill on Clark versus Talib Mahan.
Timothy Proctor for the plaintiff.
They're in Zoom. Talib Mahan,
Yeah, hello?